Hello fellow aviator, my name's Andrew and I'm the founder of Flight Deck Wingman and Flight School Wingman, and since 2016 it's been our mission to help all current and future pilots maximise their potential and achieve their dream pilot job. But did you know that we estimate that as many as 75 to 85% of pilots that don't seek our help will be unsuccessful with some stage of a major airline selection, and for cadetship schemes that failure rate is even higher. I started out my career in the military as a fast jet pilot, but despite this I still managed to fail my first airline assessment. But how did this happen? In my case it was ineffective preparation and a lack of understanding in how I was going to be assessed. This is something that I was determined to avoid happening again, and I worked hard to figure out why. Since that time, I've been successful with every pilot application that I've made. Today, I get to fly a 787 Dreamliner around the world and have personally helped thousands of other aviation professionals not make the same mistakes that I did. The sad reality is that most candidates create ineffective applications. They fail to understand just how important the application stage can be, and as a result, often fail to get to the assessment stages. Too many candidates create generic one-fits-all applications, or worse still, get someone else to write their applications for them. I've lost count of the number of candidates that I've worked with that have spent months or sometimes years wondering why they didn't make it to the assessment stages or couldn't get an interview with their dream airline. And all of this was because of an ineffective and poorly constructed application. And don't forget, even if you make it to the assessment stages, your application is the first and only impression you'll have made so far, so make it a good one. It's also likely to be the only aspect of your application and assessment journey that you have total control over. But we have a solution: techniques, not tip-offs. That's our mantra, and it's one that means that more than 95% of clients that we help are successful with their pilot applications and make it to the assessment stage. Our competency-based training techniques are designed to equip you with the techniques to create a pilot application that will enable you to excel. We won't just train you how to create a highly effective pilot CV, resume, covering letter, or answer application questions. We'll put you inside the head of a recruiter. You'll learn exactly how your application is assessed. In fact, by the end of your training, you'll feel like you've become a recruiter. We know that lots of candidates have heard of competency-based questions or evidence-based assessments as part of the assessment stages. But did you know that evidencing competencies is also the key to a successful pilot application? The candidates that understand this and know how to apply it to their applications are the ones that will be successful in making it to the assessment stages. Those that don't are often left wondering why they're going wrong and where they might need to improve to get to the assessment stage. Our Academy e-learning has been developed to make this process of understanding how your application is assessed simple to learn, combined with simple to use techniques to create one of the most powerful pilot applications on the market. We've spent hundreds of hours making sure that this course is, and it's not delivered by AI, it's delivered by me, a pilot recruiter with thousands of hours of real-life flying and pilot recruitment experience. You can access your Academy course on a laptop, desktop or mobile device, and it's super simple to navigate via modules and lessons within each module. In each of the lessons I'll be working with you, just like I am now, to break down all of our techniques into bite-sized videos that you can watch and re-watch within the access period that you've chosen. The videos are supported by high-quality training aids, and you can even choose to check your understanding via optional quizzes that help to reinforce the techniques. So what's included in the course? In the first module, we'll start by looking at an overview of the common mistakes that candidates make with their applications and dive a little deeper into why candidates fail with their applications in general. After that, it's time to take a deep dive in some of the fundamental techniques that are proven to increase your chances of a successful application. We'll look at exactly what evidencing a competency means, how that evidence is assessed by the recruiters in your application, and more importantly, how you can provide that evidence to them. Then we'll look at the importance of understanding the company ethos by investigating our own airline, Wingman Airlines. You'll learn exactly how to research any company and how to integrate this knowledge into your application like a pro. After that, it's time to feed the recruiters a sandwich, a triple-decker sandwich. For many years, we've been employing this simple yet highly effective technique that you can apply to any application anywhere in the world, including airlines, flight schools, and cadetship or sponsorship opportunities. And this is a technique that will ensure your application is bespoke to your target company and highly effective. So many candidates create a one-fits-all application, but with the triple-decker sandwich, you'll avoid this mistake with confidence. We call it a CV, you might call it a resume, but in the next module, we'll be looking at how to create one that will make you stand head and shoulders above other candidate applications. We'll start by investigating the importance of a pilot CV. After that, it's time to take a deep dive into all of the areas that will ensure that your CV is full of incremental gains that will boost its chances of success. For those of you that are making applications for your first flying role, or even at the beginning of your flying journey, we'll be investigating how to make your career history or other experience transferable to the role of a pilot. If you're already a qualified pilot, we'll make sure that your career history helps you to evidence and enhance the experience that you already have. Next up, we'll be taking a look at a profile statement, sometimes also called a personal summary. Lots of candidates negate to include one of these, or even if they do, they don't know how to structure it to ensure its effectiveness. We'll introduce you to an easy-to-use structure that you can apply to any profile statement, including examples of how a bespoke profile statement comes together. We'll be looking at how to interpret the entry criteria listed by the airline or flight school and how to ensure that your CV reflects this appropriately. Get this wrong and you might find that the person reviewing your CV doesn't even review the rest of the CV. Wondering what to include regarding your educational qualifications, or if you should include any personal information about your hobbies, family, or other interests? We'll let you know by investigating both of these areas of your CV. Finally, we'll look at how to ensure that your CV is impactful at a glance. I've lost count of the number of times that I've seen terribly presented CVs. Not only does this make it challenging for the recruiter to review the information on your CV, but not taking the time to pay attention to the overall look and feel of your CV is often a missed opportunity by candidates, especially when you want to make sure that your CV stands out against possibly thousands of other candidates. By the end of the CV module, we're confident that you'll be ripping up your old CV and starting again. And even if this is your first ever CV, by the end of this module, you'll know how to create your first CV from the ground up. In the next module, we'll be investigating essay questions. Essay questions, sometimes also referred to as application questions, are commonplace in an application journey. For example, why are you motivated to apply for this opportunity and what will make you an asset to our airline? So many candidates get their answers to these questions wrong, or they supply ineffective responses. So we'll start by looking at some of the common mistakes that candidates make with their answers and how to avoid them. Next up, we'll be looking at how to interpret the questions you've been asked using our essay question language translator, stepping inside the head of a recruiter when they ask you a question to help further refine your answers. And because we know that so many candidates don't know how to structure their answers, we'll be looking at how to utilise our triple-decker sandwich technique to great effect. And all this is backed up with examples of questions, breakdowns of answers, and finally, perfectly crafted responses so that you can see how this all comes together into concise, relevant answers that we guarantee will help you stand out against other candidates. In a final module, we'll be diving into pilot covering letters. We'll start by reviewing the importance of pilot covering letters, as well as the common mistakes that candidates make with their pilot cover letters. Then we'll look at how to structure your covering letter. How long should it be? How should you start? How do you finish? We'll ensure that you have the know-how. And this is all backed up with examples for both future pilots and experienced pilots. We'll finish by investigating how to ensure a consistent theme across both your CV and your covering letter. By the end of this module, you'll feel that you have your eyes wide open not just to the importance of pilot covering letters, but the techniques to ensure that yours stands out against other candidates. By the end of your training with us, you'll be ready to enter any application process with total confidence that you don't just understand how your application is assessed, but more importantly, how to create applications that the recruiters are desperate to see. Ready to excel and join the 95% of candidates that are successful after using our Academy online learning? It's time to get yourself a wingman. Choose your access period below and let's get started today.